My name's Katie Maddux. I'm a PA here at Midwestern Dermatology. I grew up in northern Idaho in Sandpoint. I attended Boise State University where I got my undergraduate degree in biology. During my time in college, I also worked at St. Al's as a medical scribe in the emergency department, and I also worked at another dermatology clinic as a medical assistant. I then chose to pursue a career as a physician assistant, and I went to grad school at Midwestern University outside of Chicago. And from there, I knew that I wanted to work in dermatology, so I got my first job as a dermatology PA in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This last year, I chose to move home and start a job at Midwestern Dermatology, and I was fortunate enough to meet Dr. Lisa Swanson at the SDPA conference in San Diego, where I handed her my resume, and the rest was history. When patients come to see me, they can't expect a very relaxed environment. I want everyone to feel comfortable when they come to see me. I know a full body skin check can feel very nerve-wracking, but I want you to feel comfortable when you come to see me. I'll definitely guide you through the full body skin check and any other concerns that you have with your skin, and you can definitely expect a thorough conversation about sunscreen use. My favorite part about working with patients is developing a connection and understanding what the patient's needs are. I'm here to be a resource and answer any and all questions that you have, and I want you to feel open and comfortable being able to engage with me, and ultimately I want you to leave feeling comfortable and that you can trust my care. One thing I wish every patient knew about skin health is that sun damage is cumulative. You may be diagnosed with your first basal cell skin cancer at 50 or 60, but even sunscreen use in your 50s or 60s is important, but ultimately it's the sun exposure that you got in your 20s, 30s, and 40s that can lead to skin cancers in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. If you are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and we can't necessarily go back in time to reverse any of the damage that's already been done, it's really important that you are consistent in following up with your dermatology provider so that way you can get your annual full body skin checks and keep an eye on any new lesion. If you start to notice anything that forms like a pimple but doesn't quite heal like a pimple, any wound that isn't healing, that's definitely concerning for a non-melanoma type of skin cancer. Or if you have any new dark pigmented brown lesions that appear on your skin that weren't there before, that's definitely also something to come in and have evaluated. If you are in your later years of life, it is still important to take sun protective measures as we want to prevent skin cancers from worsening as we continue to age. So sunscreen is still very important, and sun protective clothing like rash guards and hats. I think the biggest trends that are going to develop in the dermatology space in the next year is going to be further development of AI. I feel that AI will almost replace medical assistants when it comes to documentation with the charts so that the medical assistants can actually assist when they are in the room. My favorite skincare products are more in the sunscreen realm. I have been testing out a lot of tinted sunscreens right now. Tinted sunscreens contain iron oxide, which is really good at blocking UVA and UVB rays, so even light that we have in the room can contribute to hyperpigmentation, so opting for a tinted sunscreen can be beneficial. If you're looking for a tinted sunscreen that can also be a foundation and has really good coverage, the Color Science Flex sunscreen or Glow sunscreen is a really good option for you. I also really like La Roche-Posay products, but aiming to find something that has zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, those physical barriers, is going to be really important. The other landscape of SPF that I have been playing around a lot with is sunscreen for your lips. A lot of the times they can leave behind a white cast, or they taste bad or have a really bad smell. So I've been playing around with a lot of lip glosses, and I know Prequel just released their lip visor, which is SPF 50, and I also really like something from K Skincare, which is a SPF 30 lips sunscreen. Another skincare product that I absolutely love is EltaMD. Their UV clear sunscreen is really easy to apply, and I also do really enjoy their tinted sunscreen. It's more as a lotion, so it does blend into the skin really well. It doesn't necessarily build like makeup, but it's a really easy way to apply a tinted sunscreen to the skin. A piece of advice that I would give my younger self is that our bodies are a gift and should not be taken for granted. And that comes not only to our mental, physical, and emotional health, but it also applies to the skin. And when I think about being grateful for the fact that I can move my body, that's definitely something that I don't ever want to take for granted. And just giving advice to my younger self that we should continue to fuel our body with good nutrient-dense food and also take any and all protective measures and continue to weightlift and move our bodies while we still have the chance to. Something that would surprise people about me is that I studied abroad in Spain during college, and I was super passionate about learning the Spanish language so that I could interact with that demographic a little bit more and be able to serve underserved communities. So when I left Spain, I was fully fluent in Spanish. Now I would say I'm like 60% fluent in Spanish. Medical terminology in Spanish is something I'm still working on, but conversationally, I think I would be able to carry myself if I was in a Spanish-speaking country or speaking to a native Spanish speaker. When I was studying abroad in Spain, I lived in Valencia, which is more Castellano type of Spanish, and because in Spain they do speak with a lisp, my whole family said gracias, and of course in America it's gracias, so a little bit different with the accent. 3 words I would use to describe myself are outgoing, inclusive, and adventurous. A period in my life that I would love to relive would be being a kid at summer camp again. I absolutely loved summer camp as a kid, and now as an adult, I often reflect on the memories that I had there. I grew up going to a 7-day Adventist camp up in northern Idaho called Myveden on Lake Hayden, and I absolutely loved it. I took unicycling class every year, so it's kind of surprising I still know how to unicycle. I did a lot of photography, videography classes, challenge courses, and wakeboarding, and it was honestly such a special time in my life. One thing I cannot resist are any sweets, especially ice cream. Fun fact about me, growing up in northern Idaho, I started skiing at the age of 3. The ski resort that I worked at was Schweitzer. Well, the ski resort I grew up at was Schweitzer, and I worked there for 6 seasons in the daycare and ski school. And I grew up on Lake Pend Oreille boating with my family all the time, so wakeboarding, wake surfing, tubing as a kid was definitely the highlight of the summer.